Assault lasted only minutes, but what he was effectively telling me while he held my genitals in his hand was that he held the power, that he was in control.
In recent months, Sean Diddy Combs has come under intense scrutiny, as have other major players in Hollywood. Allegations against powerful figures have spread like wildfire, with executives facing both civil and criminal charges. Among them, Diddy has arguably suffered the most dramatic fall from grace in recent memory. Each new revelation appears to sink him deeper into scandal, and fans worldwide are beginning to wonder how they missed the signs. After all, back in 2016, actor Terry Crews came forward with his own story during the Harvey Weinstein revelations, subtly hinting at disturbing patterns in the industry of an alleged men's club preying on the new people in the industry, including Diddy's rumored fixation with controlling young male talent. If even a former NFL linebacker like Terry Crews, standing at 6'4" and weighing 240 pounds of pure muscle, could be victimized, it raises disturbing questions about what young aspiring artists may have faced in the hands of industry mentors, particularly under the influence of someone as powerful as Brother Love himself. In 2017, Terry made a shocking revelation in a series of viral posts on his Twitter account, sharing his personal experience as a victim of SA. At the time, the MeToo movement was at its peak, with a flood of allegations surfacing against Harvey Weinstein, who was rumored to have connections with Diddy and allegedly attended some of Diddy's infamous parties. Seeing the stories of survivors emerge, Terry Crews found it impossible to stay silent. In a vulnerable series of posts, he disclosed that a powerful Hollywood executive had groped him at a party just months earlier. Although he didn't specify whose event it was, rumors began to swirl, with many speculating it was at one of Diddy's gatherings. In one of his tweets, Terry said, "This whole thing with Harvey Weinstein is giving me PTSD. Why? Because this kind of thing happened to me. I understand and empathize with those who have remained silent, but Harvey Weinstein is not the only perpetrator." Many found Terry Crews' claims hard to believe, with critics questioning how such a physically imposing man couldn't simply fend off and advance. But Terry explained that despite his strength, he felt utterly powerless and violated, fearing the consequences of standing up against someone so influential in the industry. The backlash pushed Crews to share his experience in a revealing interview with ABC News, where he laid out the full story and might have even hinted at Diddy's questionable behavior behind closed doors.
I was by Adam Bennett, who was the head of the motion picture department at William Morris Endeavor.
In that interview, Crews openly named his abuser for the first time, Adam Bennett, a top Hollywood agent with a client list unmatched by almost anyone in the industry. Bennett wasn't just any agent, he wielded substantial power with the ability to make or break an actor's career with a single phone call.
You're talking about a very, very powerful man who has access to studio heads. What they do affects every part of the business, from producers, writers, actors. They own finance companies, the whole thing.
And get this, Adam Bennett was reportedly a regular at Diddy's infamous parties. Terry's account of what happened to him is very similar to Diddy's own behavior, making it hard to ignore the parallels. The most shocking part, Terry had never even met Bennett before this encounter, yet the agent boldly approached him with inappropriate gestures, quickly escalating to a physical attempt to grope him.
Did you know him before the party?
And I did not know him. I heard of him. We had never, ever even had a conversation. He looked me in my eyes and he was sticking his tongue out, overtly to me. I mean, it was no mistake that this was a type tongue move. And I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm thinking, is this how this guy breaks the ice? I don't understand what this is.
Confused, Crews said he reached out to shake his hand.
I reached my hand out and he takes his right hand and under mine and immediately grabs my genitals and I'm jumping back like, hey!
The fact that Bennett targeted Crews, a well-established actor, not an up-and-coming star looking for connections, sent shockwaves through the industry. People began to question what Bennett may have done to those who felt they needed his influence to advance in Hollywood. Terry went on to share that even after he loudly protested, Bennett didn't back down. He attempted to grope him a second time, showing just how untouchable he believed he was.
And he jumps back and he still does this tongue stuff and he's making weird noises and then he comes back again and grabs me again. And I slap his hand away, push him back more forcefully. And I'm like, what are you doing?
The most unsettling part of the story, this entire incident happened right in front of his wife. Bennett, fully aware of her presence, seemed unbothered, assuming that neither of them would dare challenge him due to the massive influence he wielded over Terry's career. It's a chilling example of how power dynamics can paralyze even the most imposing individuals.
So she's witnessing the entire thing.
She's witnessing the whole thing. And we're just not, I can't even begin to describe to you how bizarre this is. It's so bizarre. I wake up every morning like, is this a bad dream?
Mm-hmm.
Cruz addressed critics who doubted his claims or questioned how someone of his size could fall victim. He explained that while he was furious at Bennett's behavior, his wife had to remind him of the severe consequences he could face if he retaliated. She understood that one wrong move could mean the end of Terry's career, and in a moment of heartbreak and restraint, they chose to remain silent to protect his future.
Former NFL linebacker, 6'3", 240 pounds, just muscles everywhere. How could he be
That plays into the total stereotype of black men. I felt nothing but rage, Mike. But my wife prepared me. She said, Terry, you cannot handle these kind of things with violence. You can't hit back, because if you hit people and if you do this stuff.
If someone like Cruz, with his size and established career, felt forced into silence, what chance would young, naive artists have against powerful figures like Diddy?
I know how close I came to losing it all. Just when you get emasculated like that. When I tell you, the way he looked at me, the way he giggled, it was one of those things where he was like, hey man, no one's ever gonna believe you.
It's undeniable that the reality for victims back then was a world apart from what it is now. For years, Hollywood's powerful executives seemed untouchable. But with Diddy's recent indictment, it feels like the floodgates have finally opened. In many ways, Terry Crews warned us about this moment years ago. He alluded to the fact that there were others just as powerful as Bennett.
First of all, this whole thing, from Weinstein to all what's happening in Hollywood, is about an abuse of power, an abuse of the position you have. And what happens is they have fooled everyone into thinking it was part of the job.
Cruz pointed out that this kind of exploitation had been normalized for so long that many young talents felt pressured to exchange their dignity for a chance at success. His warnings might have seemed extreme to some, but when he took the stand to testify in front of the Senate committee, things started to change. This public testimony became a turning point, one that finally led people to take his claims seriously and recognize the larger, darker reality of Hollywood's culture.
This past year, we have seen powerful men in Hollywood and elsewhere finally held accountable for and assault. We also saw the backlash survivors faced after coming forward. I wanted these survivors to know that I believed them, I supported them, and that this happened to me too. This encouraged me to come forward with my own experience and reflect.
This same pattern emerged with Diddy's case. Alleged victims began coming forward only after Cassie, Diddy's former partner, took a courageous step to publicly accuse him of heinous acts she claimed occurred throughout their relationship. Her decision to call him out, despite the risk, triggered what is now a criminal investigation, arguably one of the entertainment industry's most scandalous cases to date. It took years for people to piece together the full picture, leading many to speculate that the only environment where such acts would be openly displayed had to be a Diddy-hosted party. When the Senate committee asked Cruz the same burning question everyone else had been asking, why he hadn't reacted on the spot, he gave them a raw and eye-opening answer.
You're a big, powerful man. Why didn't you?
Senator, as a black man in America.
Say it as it is. I think it's important.
You only have a few shots at success. You only have a few chances to make yourself a viable member of the community.
With so many shocking revelations unfolding, Hollywood's powerful elite are beginning to crumble, and this may just be the start of an industry-wide reckoning. So if you don't want to miss any updates as the truth unravels, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for fresh, breaking stories straight out of Hollywood.